Hey guys, so earlier in the school year, like towards the very beginning of the school year, I had told you guys that we actually had to evacuate our classroom due to a student where we had to call for administrative assistance. And when we do that, it's basically for a CPI response. Um, so I had a couple people ask me like why we would have to evacuate our classroom in a situation like that, and so I thought that I would address that in this video. So basically, when we call for a CPI response, you don't always have to evacuate. Like, there have been times during the school year where we have had to call for CPI in the cafeteria, and basically there's certain reasons why you would need to call CPI. If you've never had any sort of CPI training or anything like that, then you might not know this, but CPI is basically used when a student, or whatever the case may be, but in my case, the student, there is a student who is becoming escalated as far as behaviors where they may become either a danger to themselves or a danger to other students or to staff. And so with CPI, we are trained in how to do holds and things like that, where it's done in a safe manner so that you are not hurting them, but it protects the people around them as well as themselves. And so it could be that they're screaming, it could be that they're throwing chairs around or things like that. And so when we had to evacuate the classroom, there was a specific student who was just very agitated. And this particular student had like aggressiveness issues and could really just fly off the handle at any given point. Regardless, like he could be calm 1 second and extremely angry and aggressive the next. And so it was a situation where the student was picking up toys and actually throwing them in the direction of other students. And so, like I've told you guys, I work in an ECSE setting, which is early childhood special education. So we have kids from the ages of 3 to 5 as our ECSE students. But at that time, we also had a kindergartner and a first grader and another kindergartner in the classroom as well. So it was kind of, the decision to evacuate the classroom was more for the safety of the other students. One staff member stayed in the room with that particular student who needed the CPI called on him. And I took our other students out of the classroom and went to the other special ed teacher that is in the elementary school. I went to her classroom with our students just for safety reasons, because if we are able to take our students out of the classroom to bring them to a safer space where they're not, you know, there's no potential of like stuff getting thrown at them, someone hitting them or kicking them or whatever the case may be, because we never really know how a situation like that could potentially evolve or escalate. So we kind of just took that as a precautionary measure and decided to bring our little students out of the room just so that, one, we can hopefully get the student to calm down without needing to do any holds or restraints, but also for the safety of our other students, because like a lot of our students, if they see another student upset or crying or screaming or whatever, they will actually move closer and try to see what's wrong and try to somehow comfort the other student, which, you know, they don't necessarily understand that it is potentially dangerous. They don't understand that they could get hurt or they could get kicked or bitten or whatever. They're trying to comfort the other student, and they do that a lot in our classroom. So like the whole reason, like I said, that we evacuated them was for their own safety. And it wasn't necessarily like a whole big serious to do. Like, we got the rope that they walk on when we go out for recess and when we take them to the bus, and we just went on a walk through the hallway. I let them bring some toys along with them. Like there are a couple of students who like particular toys, and I let them bring those toys with them on our walk through the hallway. Thankfully, the other special ed teacher's room was not that far away from our classroom, but you know, like this was the first week of school. I was having to evacuate our classroom to the other teacher's classroom to protect our students. And the other teacher knew right away what was going on. And thankfully there were 2 other paras in her classroom at that time. So, you know, we had the ability to go in there, and the other paras were helping me with our young students while the other special ed teacher went into the room to see if she could help in any way. At that point, I had not gone through like the physical part of the CPI training, because there are actually 2 parts to CPI training, and I can talk more about CPI training with you guys if you are interested. But CPI training for us at the school that I work at is basically like you do the first portion online, which is like the classroom portion, and then you do like a little training in person where like they show you how to do certain holds, and you practice doing these holds on another staff member, and you know, like things like that. So like I said, if you guys want more information specifically about CPI, why we use CPI, like some of the things that we do and why we might have to use CPI, I can definitely make more videos talking more about that with you guys, if that's something you want to hear more about. But yeah, that is why we evacuated the classroom, was basically for the safety of our other students. So it wasn't necessarily that that particular student was threatening our other students, but he was throwing toys in their direction. And just kind of as a precautionary measure, we decided it was safer if I just brought the other kids out of the room and the other para stayed in the room with him while waiting for the CPI response. So we just kind of hung out in the other special ed teacher's classroom until it was all clear. And then we went back and went on with our normal day. So anyways, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys next time.